Welcome to Friday, Manx News and Energy FM's. I don't even know what we're going to call it this week because it's second time this week and it feels like there's a lot of us already. But we're plodding about the news once again. From Tremode again, and then Charlie's here again. I'm going to keep saying again for some reason this week. I don't know why, but it's happening again, Charlie.
You're like the kid that went, apparently we did this, and then apparently we did this. You know the one?
No, the only kid reels I see are just, can I pet that dog?
No, this was like the OG of this kid in front of a camera.
Charlie bit my finger was the OG.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that one because obviously, as you can imagine, that annoyed me quite a lot. But anyway, Sam.
Have you seen the podcast with, Jay from In-Betweeners and his missus?
Yeah.
And when they have, not Will, the other one, Simon on, who, and when he's on it, and they're talking about stuff that happened because of the In-Betweeners. And then we had this girl come up to us one day, and her name was Carly. And she said that all through her sixth form, she had that song sung at her. You know, when they were all drunk and he's dancing on the couch, she's like, Carly's on your face. And yeah. And she said all of sixth form, she had that. And I can imagine that you got Charlie bit my finger.
Oh, I had it a lot. I did have it a lot. Now, we can say this is our weekly plod around the news and the Isle of Man, whatever landscape you call it. Because obviously yesterday we recorded a minimum wage special. So I don't want to go too much into it today because I feel like we've done quite a lot on it. But I want to just clarify one thing, Sam, as to why from last week we did the podcast and some smart ass decided to comment saying, who are they? Why are we listening to them? And why is he wearing sunglasses?
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I'd had a wine and I very nearly went full force on him and I refrained. So, Sam, do you want me to explain and make him feel like an absolute twat and a heartless arsehole, or do you?
No, it's grand, because I actually got a message last night as well from someone going, oi, Stevie Wonder, what's with the glasses? I was like, I've just got this thing in my eye and it looks an absolute mess. And it has done for about 18 months, because for medical people, I don't even know how to say their name, it's Manx care. But basically, yes, my eye's a mess. So it's not too bad sometimes, and then sometimes it's really bad. So today it's not great. So it's why I wear glasses indoors.
So to those people that have been really mean about Sam wearing sunglasses, I hope you feel good about yourself, because all you've done is highlighted someone's health issue that's going on and the fact that actually they may not want you to see it. So give yourselves a real big pat on the back for being arsehole of the week.
I'm also doing a YouTube tribute act. It's like Bono, but instead of Bono, it's T-Bono, because, big lad, I eat a lot of steak.
I'm a big boy. I'm a grown boy.
Exactly. So should we do some news?
I think we should, Sam.
Because I've got, short time today.
Oh, God, this never ends well. Right. Take it away, Sambo.
I don't think we can start anywhere but with the Harambe of the Isle of Man, that is Bully the Bull.
I don't think we can start anywhere other than Harambe. That is actually, you've nailed it, haven't you?
Well, I must admit, I saw this on Twitter, because it was Harambe, the Queen, Captain Tom, the guy who walked about his garden, and the bull. And I was like, that's very unfair, because as far as we know, the bull's relatives never went to Epstein Island or built an illegal sauna. So I think we should put some of that into perspective, really. But Harambe, yeah, I'll give them that. So, yeah, bull got out from the abattoir, had a bit of a meander about a housing estate, then was stood gently in a field when it was taken out by the tactical arm of the Manx Constabulary, the highly trained killers, who took 4 goes to get the bull down. I'm going to get criticised for that.
No, I don't think you should, and I think that has obviously been a big story this week, and actually it's hit national press this week.
I saw that. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, well, I saw it on Farming UK, obviously. And the comments on it were pretty much echoed what a lot of the comments on Ireland have all said. And also, to clarify, what we know is actually, well, from what I'm led to believe, it was actually a bullock. It wasn't a full-grown bull. So it wasn't anywhere near as big as that.
But the police were accused of talking bullocks.
Correct. I think it's a desperately sad situation. And I can understand, look, I'm not sitting here saying that when an animal gets out, and it can be dangerous when they're scared and all of those things. And, we I've heard of countless stories, especially I have, of people being killed or really badly injured by bulls or by cows when they take a turn. I'm not saying that there's no risk to the public, but I think it could have been handled so much better. And I also think the main worry is, how on earth did it get out of the meat plant?
Well, we do actually have a bit more on that, because the meat plant last night revealed that it escaped through a So, the hauliers vehicle had got out of a side inspection panel, and then the main gate was open for operational reasons,
That's the bit.
and it legged it through the gate.
Why on earth was that gate open when we're unloading livestock? That I'm sorry. We can sugarcoat that however we want and come up with whatever excuses. Surely that is basic common sense when we're unloading livestock that we shut those gates.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound a bit like they shut the factory gates after the bull had bolted. So
It's just beggars belief, and it's very sad. And obviously, there's a video going around of it which I watched, and I like to think that I'm fairly hardy with those kind of things, and I can accept that. Like, I as a youngster, I actually walked around the abattoir quite a bit. I've seen hanging carcasses. I'm absolutely fine with it all. Like, no problem. And I've been there countless times and animals have been put down, or I've been there when they've been shot, and I'm fine with it. Not fine with how that was all dealt with.
no, I think, I mean, it's not the first criticism the police have come in for in the past week or so.
No, it's been a bad week for them.
And I think that they're a little bit delicate about it at the minute. But I think that from what we've seen of that video with the bull, I mean, there's a good argument for it appeared to have calmed down a little bit. There's other ways that could have been handled other than the police saying we had no other choice, which I don't think a lot of people have listened to. The island's a rural community. They could have got somebody down if they knew where it was. It didn't appear to be charging around in the video that we've seen. It seemed to be calmed down a little bit by then. So, and even to be fair, the video I've seen of it in a housing estate, it was just sort of plodding around. It wasn't charging around. It seemed to have calmed down quite a bit by then. So, worst things could have happened than... The worst things could have happened if it had been fully out of control. It could have caused a lot of damage or really injured somebody. But just looking at it, that video is kind of hard to explain. But then the meat plant has also said it's referred to itself to health and safety and animal welfare specialists.
So it should.
Yeah, of course, the police don't have to do that because there's no independent police complaint system.
I actually think that's quite commendable of the Isle of Man Meats to do that.
Wow, I mean, let's face it,
they had no choice but to do that. But yeah, I think it's very sad, and yeah, thankfully no one was hurt, but I don't think it was right.
No, just one other farming issue actually I want to touch on.
Talk to me.
And it's on the topic of selfish bastards.
Oh, would this be arseholes that walk their dogs off leads and let them go kill sheep?
It would indeed. Because now, we all get this, and I think we need to come up with a better term for this, because we keep referring to it as dog attacks. I feel sorry for the dog in this.
Yeah.
The dog's doing what a dog will do.
Yeah.
It's an animal. It will act on its instincts, and it does what it does.
Yeah.
So really, what we need to start calling, instead of dog attacks, we need to call it evil bastard sheep murderers.
Yeah.
So that should be the new campaign slogan. Yeah. Don't be an evil bastard sheep murderer and let your dog off the leash. Because we've got reports this week from the north of the island. There's been instances of livestock being killed and injured by dogs. The police are trying to find out whose dog this was. Apparently there was an incident where there was somebody seen trying to catch a dog in the north of the island. So they think that could be connected to it. But yeah, they said that this is quite a few instances recently in the north of the island. The police come out and pushed it and said, look, there's a lot of pictures and videos of this going around. You need to find out whose dog this is. And people just, quite frankly, need to bloody just get your dog on a fucking lead.
That's the thing. And I think, this is all come down to complete owner negligence, if I'm honest. The owners are crap. I don't believe there's any such thing as a bad animal. I think it's within reason, their natural instinct to go and do that. If you think you have a dog that might be a bit of a tosspot, keep it on a lead. Actually, just keep all of your dogs on a lead because you don't necessarily know. Just keep them on a lead around livestock. It's not bloody hard, for fuck's sake.
It's also the Isle of Man. There's plenty of places you can go that doesn't have to be in a sheep field.
Yeah, but it's unreal because, you go and do it and it happens and it attacks the sheep. It's awful for the sheep, horrible way to go. It's also really bloody expensive for the farmer. It's traumatic for the farmer. And at the end of the day, more likely than not, if your dog has now got a bit of a taste for it, it ain't going to stop.
No, and worse, of course, is if the farmer catches them doing it, they're legally entitled to shoot said dog.
Absolutely, and it's something I couldn't
There's a change
back
in
more.
the law. Shoot the owner.
Yeah, no, completely. And Sam, it's not even just limited to attacks on sheep. I've been on the beach before with a horse. It's a shared public space. I've had idiot dog owners let their dogs go and they've ran at my horse's feet. And I've said to them, get your dog. I don't want to be on something that's going to kill your dog, but if she starts to go wild and start to kick the dog, I'm not going to stop her. And, you know, you think, why are we putting these animals in this position and putting them in a position of harm? It's stupid. So, yeah, but there aren't enough laws around, thanks to the Isle of Man government, wonderful, there aren't enough laws around prosecuting people when it comes to this. And this is something that MNFU have called upon, and they've tried to lobby with DEFA to do it, and guess what? Nothing's happened.
I'd like to say I was surprised. Just on a quick legal note, I'm not advocating shooting dog owners. Quick message come up on the Apple Watch there from our legal assistant. Don't shoot dog walkers. Maybe, but don't.
We're saying don't. If you watch the video, you'll know what we mean by that. Anyway, Sam, should we move swiftly on before either of us get sued?
Yeah, let's go to a quick break before we get done for incitement to commit murder. Well, welcome back. We've pleaded not guilty, and we're here for the second half. Charlie, what else has been going on for you this week?
Been a bit of sad news this morning. Business closure. Carrefour Health Clubs is going to be closing its doors at the end of November. The gym has been running for for nearly 25 years, sorry. And it's basically cited the reason for closure is, basically the rising expenses. It's been coupled with necessary cost-saving measures and reduced staffing level, which has played a significant role in the decision. The studio class at the gym will conclude at the end of this month, while the main gym will remain open through to the end of November. It's really sad. I hate seeing a business go. Hopefully this isn't the end. And they did say something along those lines, saying we truly hope this is not the end and that future opportunities may allow us to reconnect.
Yeah, I did. I wondered this about the difficulties that business must have, because a lot of the gyms now are out of town and they've got a lot of parking around them. Mm-hmm. I know there's one up just off the Cool, which even it's got a lot of parking and yet it's still overflowing onto the roads around it. So I imagine they must have a tad bit of difficulty with that in terms of where people are going to park to go in. So I wondered if reading that they were sort of hoping that they'd be able to come back somewhere out of Douglas.
Now, I thought that too. However, I got challenged by a different point of view on it, on actually gyms in town, for those who still, bless their hearts, have to work in town. If they want to go to the gym in their lunch hour, they don't want to lose their car parking space, any of those things, then, you know, they're actually very limited for options. And I think that may have been that was their big clientele, I suppose. That's who they're reaching out to. And we do have quite a few gyms in these industrial sites and those kind of locations. So, you know, I hope they're able to sort something out and set up elsewhere. But yeah, I just think it's really, really sad.
Yeah, ultimately. Yeah, you're right. I was just trying to find another quick business news story, which I've completely lost on my laptop now. But relating to business closing, business opening, we might be seeing the return of Iceland.
Yes, I've seen this. Iceland plans island return.
That's it. I can't find it online, but it's there somewhere. It's on Manx.news, where all good news stories are.
I can read you a first few lines of it. The company had previously sold its products through ShopRite, but wants to return to Manx shelves. Plans have been submitted to build a new Iceland food warehouse store on the Spring Valley estate in Braddon. It said the food warehouse aims to offer customers and local businesses a simpler way to shop for great value, great quality products, and often in bulk.
Now, I read this, and one thing instantly jumped into my mind, because I read the planning application. Very little mention of local produce.
Of course, there's going to be none.
Very little mention of really anything that it's going to be buying out of the Manx community. I imagine probably milk. But, I just thought it would be interesting, this, because obviously Tesco has had, I think unfairly at times, been quite severely kicked around for the amount of local produce it sells, which when we compare to the Co-op, which does milk, and that's about it. And Marks and Spencer's, which does milk and cheese. So Co-op does cheese as well. So I think it'll be interesting to see how, because this has been warmly welcomed by a lot of people.
Oh yes, it has warmly welcomed by the short-sighted people of the Manx public. Those same people that cry when businesses shut down. Those same people that like to try and back Manx produce only on social media, but actually in their buying habits probably buy very little Manx produce. Now I appreciate the cost element of that. I don't dispute we're in a cost of living crisis and, you know, people need to go and buy food that they can afford. I'm not saying, you know, just go pum, pum, pum and just splurge out on products, but don't sit there crying about losing Manx businesses and wanting to back Manx produce, but then in the same breath being as excited as a teenage girl at a Justin Bieber concert at the thought of a supermarket such as Iceland coming over, or you see the comments for Aldi and Lidl and Primark and everything like that. And I think it really hits a nerve on me, because these are the same people that go, oh, isn't this a shame that we're losing our farmers and we're losing our local produce? You use it or you lose it.
How old are you?
I know, I'm a 60-year-old woman.
Justin Bieber concert.
Yeah, that's what I always think
Will,
of.
who's again flying the desk over there, was laughing at that.
I don't know what
you know.
What
are you
pop
excited
stars
that Westlife have announced their 25th anniversary?
I hate Westlife.
I don't understand how it's 25th
No,
anniversary.
you know who my biggest fans of bands are? I'm like the Smiths, Echo and the Bunnymen, that kind of era. They're
Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah, no, I'm
yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I have a confession to make actually on this.
Bet you were buzzing off your tits, weren't you?
I was in the Victoria Road or Little Switzerland Tesco yesterday evening, and they didn't have any Manx cheddar in the shredded form, in the grated form, in a bag. So I bought the Tesco one because I didn't want to buy a block of cheese because I haven't got a cheese grater. So
you could have got a cheese grater at Tesco. They sell them. You could have got a cheese grater and then gone and got the big block of Manx cheese.
I could have done, and I didn't. Instead of that, I bought the Tesco one, which is nowhere near as good.
You know, of course it isn't.
And
it's crap.
I have to be honest. I would have. I was like putting it down the side of the bag. I was putting my hood up.
You should have been
I would have been less embarrassed to be walking around carrying strong pornography. Going up to the self-service till, going, well, this is for self-service, all right. But instead of that, I was carrying English cheese. I think I have to go down to commit penance at the ferry bridge later on today, and I'm
disgusted.
I know, so am I, to be honest.
And you're a hypocrite, because you were carrying one of those Thanks for Choosing Manx bags at the Royal Show not that long ago, and you were bringing out your Manx produce, and look at you now. Go get yourself on Traitors, Sam. Go join Alan Carr.
That means nothing to me. I haven't watched the Traitors.
God's sake.
I'm too busy rewatching Friends at the minute.
Overrated show. I think it's rubbish. Have I offended you now?
Wow. This has been an episode
Insightful.
Of
Home truths.
Surprising developments. Speaking of surprising developments, Charlie, next week the area plan for the North and West is going to be discussed in People will think that we have a script, and we don't. We just make it up as we go along. As indeed our listener found out with this week. We got a message this week saying how great the show is.
We are very good.
It came to me from Krisha, but
Are we going to now tagline the Alan's Leading podcast?
I think it'd be funny if we did, yeah. Why not?
I think we are. There's no stats to prove we're not.
No, I mean, the other lot do that, the government-sponsored one does the one about, like, the daily podcast, so we could do, like, the Ireland's biggest weekly news podcast, and they can't prove that that's not true.
No, they can't. I like where you're going with this, though, Sambo.
Probably. We could do the Carlsberg thing. Probably the Ireland's favourite news podcast.
I think that's the best way of marketing. Now, what were you talking about? Sorry,
right, so the area plan for the North and West is going to go to Tynwald next week. A lot of controversy in this. If you go back to, like, Derby Airfield last year.
My highlight of the past 5 years. Derby Airfield meeting.
That was like, we could reopen the airport. We're not going to. We're just saying we could do. And we're like, people are going, do you know how stupid that is? That the government is saying this could one day be an airport again. It's not going to, but it could be. But like, how do you get a mortgage to buy a house there?
Now, I had an interesting argument to this, because actually that airfield's obviously been there longer than the majority of those residents. And equally, up until not long ago, it was always an emergency airstrip anyway, for emergency landings. So, all they're saying is now, basically all they did say at the time was, we need to extend it a little bit, so these bigger planes that are now coming in can safely land if, God forbid, they need to. Yeah,
but it wasn't a little bit, to be fair. It was like, we're going to take out that house there. And they could literally pinpoint who was going to lose their house on the map, which they then had to abandon and go, look, we'll talk about it another time instead. So I need to check if that's still in the area plan. But before we get to all that, we have the being up in Peel, talking to the MHKs for Glenfarber and Peel. Glenfarber, Glenfaber.
Glenfaber?
Glenhuber?
Peel.
Glenfiddich. There you go. For Glenfiddich and Peel, other whiskey brands are available. And Yeah, we spoke to Caitlin and Tim Cruckle, who suspiciously look like they are hosting, or the front stars of, ITV's newest crime drama, which I'm calling Law, Lords and Crooks. So we're up on the Headlands up in Peel, which is not part of the development, but looking ahead to Timble next week, the area plan for the north and west is due to come up. But you've got quite a lot of concerns around the number of, well, both you've got concerns about the number of housing that's planned to basically be developed around the outskirts of Peel.
I mean, it's massive what is being considered and put before Tynwald next week. And I think that anybody that's got any appreciation for the beauty of the island and also wants to see brownfield sites develop first should be incredibly concerned about what Tynwald is deciding potentially next week. If all the lands are zoned in the north and west, and this is one vote on one document, it would mean that those lands get zoned on the 1st of December. And actually, I think a lot of people aren't really aware of the scale of what's happening or the nature of it in terms of greenfield sites.
And we're actually talking about all the way from Ramsey Road across to the Portown Road and then over to the cemetery, if you like. So it's all that green land. Basically, what we did what was done in 1989, that again doubled, if you like. And so since 1991 to 2021. We've had 981 houses in Peel, so we've had the last 4 years on top of that. So we're probably around about 1,300 houses and flats since then. And we're looking at doing the same again. We're not looking, but they're looking to do the same again, basically.
So that is what they've had to say up in Peel about some of that. You can see the full interview at Manx.news and on our YouTube channel. Now you may think, Charlie, that's just the West. You haven't covered the north. Well, we have.
We have covered the north.
Now, I'm going to resist the temptation to say this like Boise, but we do have Marlene Masker, a former MLC, and Keith Dalrymple, who are talking about Ramsey, urban sprawl, and the redevelopment of town centres and brownfield sites, and how that can help in the North of Ireland. So we'll hear from them now, and a bit of a shame because they don't look like they're fronting a new crime drama.
I'd like to step back slightly in that I did attend the inquiry last July for 2 weeks, and it was evident to me that the process was quite difficult for people on the ground to understand, and I even heard planning experts saying how convoluted and difficult it was to navigate. So I've appealed to members in Comyn and Tynwald members that in future the process might be clearer and simpler and easier to engage with. My main concern is that there are large tracts of greenfield land on the outskirts of the two large settlements, Peel and Ramsey, that once this plan, if adopted, will be designated for residential development as of the 1st of December, and it discourages people to invest into the brownfield sites that exist all over the island. It's not really supportive, and lip service is paid to brownfield sites taking priority, but I can't see an awful lot in this plan that is going to bear fruit in those sites having a priority. It would be much easier for greenfield sites to be developed as opposed to brownfield sites which sit in the heart of our vibrant town, but we need to make Ramsey more vibrant if at all possible. And that's, I suppose, the core of my interest.
And Keith, what's it for yourself?
In my opinion, the plan as presented is flawed. It's predicated on a false premise, and that is that there is a housing need that was calculated when there was an anticipation of major population growth in the island. That has not come about. We've had published figures recently that show the increased population from 2011 is 26 net growth. We're not, Marlene and I, opposing the plan from any NIMBY perspective. It's a considered opposition to something that we believe is potentially damaging, has long-term, far-reaching implications, not just for Ramsey in the north, but for the whole island.
So that was that was Keith and Marlene there. So
Go on, say Marlene how you want to say it.
Marlene!
Marlene! I did American one then.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Boise from Brooklyn. So yes, so that is the area plan for North and West, which will be debated next week in Tynwald. It's one of the weirdest threats I've ever seen that, because basically the government going, look, if you don't vote this through, right, this is abandoned. And everyone's gone, then what? And the government went, it's abandoned.
It's gone. We're not doing it. Because
Right.
we're doing an island plan in a few years.
Yeah, so what happened? But yeah, they're also renewing the strategic plan, which means that the area plans, which are fed by the strategic plan, anyway, area plans, mate, area plans. What you going to do? Charlie?
Why don't we just do things that the public wants instead of pissing money and time up the wall on these plans that, are just going round in circles and
Because
load
as
of
Henry
nonsense?
Ford once said, if you give the public what it wants a quicker horse.
Oh, God.
And on that, we'll have one final break and then come back for... I've got a couple of things that I want to bring up, but the last one I want to talk about really quickly is going to be the health levy.
I'm excited. Welcome back to Welcome to Friday. Now, Sam touched on the health levy. Sam, talk to me.
Well, obviously the health levy was dropped. It was a new plan to replace the health income tax, which was desperately needed. So desperately needed, in fact, that the increase of 2% was then half down to 1%. And it's still at 21% as our highest income rate of tax. However, the health levy was going to replace this. Now, that has been axed by the government. A few weeks ago, we heard about that. And we've now got the public consultation, which basically says why. So, the government were very crafty. They at no point said, hey, do you want a health levy? They said to people, when the health levy would be introduced, how would you like it to be? And the public went, don't want a health levy. And they went, do you think people should be charged based on their income or based on this? I don't want a health levy. Well, should people who are richer pay more? I don't want a health levy. And eventually the government went, we've spotted a theme here. Right? People ain't keen on a health levy. So, yeah, they withdrew it. In fact, the actual wording was, a significant majority of these comments express clear and emphatic disagreement with the introduction of the levy in any form. Respondents argued that the proposal of a levy is unnecessary, unfair or burdensome, with many stating that they already contribute enough through existing taxation and national insurance. Calls for no levy at all and outright objection on the proposal were frequent and forceful.
Should we give the government a round of applause for once in their lives listening to the public?
No.
Oh! Tell me why.
Because it's a year out from an election.
It's coming back, isn't it?
I think if this had come out 4 years ago, I reckon they would have pressed ahead. But it's within a year of an election. I think if we go back to a podcast months ago, I said this would never happen because it was an election year. As soon as they said it'd be October, I was like, it's not going to happen. And this is the evidence for it, because let's face it, turkeys, Christmas, if
We
Bernard
can't
had
get
a
Manx turkeys anymore.
I know. Is Gordon Clark not still doing them?
I didn't think we could get them.
We'll have to find out. But as the saying goes, Bernard would not have won that referendum. Right? The turkeys in Norfolk would have been going, no chance, mate. Christmas, forget it. And in this instance, I think the MHKs would have also been looking at this consultation going, So the government have gone, yeah, we ain't going to get that through Tynwald. That's never going to happen. So now it'll come back under the new administration in some form. I don't believe it will come back as a health levy. I think I'm going to stick my neck out now and say, what is it? So it's 2026 next year. 2027, February 2027, we're going to see an increase on the higher rate of income tax, probably 2 to 3%.
And we're just going to put it as ring fence for healthcare.
I imagine so, yeah.
Now, Sam, something went out at 1 o'clock today on our site. Not on our news site, on our social media pages.
Oh, that makes more sense.
What do you think it is?
Or
what do you think it was?
Well, I know what it is, so you better tell the boys and girls.
We have been leaked the government's efficiency plans. Now, we don't know where we've been leaked it from. Is it a reliable source? Has someone made it up? All we know is that it looks pretty damn accurate. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's Coman's sticker chart. What were your thoughts on the sticker chart, Sam?
Well, I was surprised when we received the email from I think he called himself Carth Annan. Could have been anybody.
And it was a Proton email.
Yeah, it was very weird. But the suggestion is that the government are monitoring how the efficiency scheme is going by way of a sticker chart. And if they've done well that week to achieve some savings, they get some smiley faces. And if they don't, they get some sad faces. So, and the council ministers meets on a Thursday, so we can only assume that means they don't get out early for lunchtime, or maybe they don't get. Maybe they get like the end of the biscuit barrel.
Yeah.
You know, it goes round a couple of times with all the people who get the smiley faces. Then you get in, you know, you get like a minister, no names, but I'm sure we can all think of who. It's just sat there with like nothing but like broken ginger nuts at the bottom of the barrel.
It's very sad, isn't it?
Very sad.
And one of them was even allowed a sulking day when they got told no for extra money.
That doesn't narrow it down because if it's the health service, they've gone in for 2.5 million.
The health services, it just changes every day. They go from health cuts, ask more money, health cuts, ask for more money, health cuts, ask for more money. But then,
it's basically if Oliver Twist got his, what's it called? The
Ozempic,
yeah. He'd be there going, please, sir, can I have action? Do you know what, mate? It's all right. We're just going to cut it down a little bit today. And then he'd be back later going, I need 2.5 million quid for your patient transfers. And then Mr. Bumble would look at him going, what's patient transfers? Because this is Victorian era. Go back to work, you peasant. So it falls down that analogy. But basically, it's... Yeah, the health service asked for 2.5 million quid, by the way, for patient transfer services. Yeah. I just don't even know where to begin with that. Because it's been... This is the thing, they knew about this months ago. And it's just like, why was this not properly sorted out then? And it's only for this year, by the way. They've then got to work out how they're going to pay for it year on year after this has been resolved.
If we were in charge, Sam, how could we solve all of this?
Well, I think you just have to be realistic and say we have to pay for patient health service, so let's find the money elsewhere in the department.
But what do you think we could do overall in government to free up some money?
Well, there's many ideas.
I heard a very interesting stat today.
Do kids really have to go to school until they're 16?
Let me tell you an interesting stat I heard today. Now, I don't have any information to back it up, but I'm sure, give me a bit of time and I could back it up, that the government wage bill, do you know how much it's costing every day? How much the bill is every day?
I'm pretty sure you could work that out relatively easily if you had the figure for the year, but go on.
£2 million a day.
£2 million, 600 a year.
I think it's right.
That sounds too high.
It sounds too high,
I'm going to have to do a quick bit of maths here. Hold on.
What's their yearly bill? We saw this the other day. I did. Can't remember where.
So, 2 million a day.
Yeah. Okay, Sam. Do 526 964 000 divided.
So that's 526 million for the year, and they're saying 2 million a day. 123 times 365. Yeah, it's not right. It's too high.
How much is 526 964 000 divided by?
It's a bit too high. Not massively too high, actually. It was a bit too high.
By a bit too high, do you mean a million too high?
No, about 40. But
40,000?
No, 40 million. So they're far off, to be fair. So, yeah.
So how much is it a day?
I don't know. I haven't done that figure.
Oh, that's what I thought you were working out.
No, I was working out that 2 million was definitely too much. So anyway, if you've enjoyed that maths lesson, please do tell your friends about this fantastic podcast. Quick bit of sport to end with, Charlie. So Lizzie Holden has announced her upcoming retirement. Professional cyclist who has had a bit of a difficult time after some injuries. She's, of course, former British time trial champion, has represented the island at Commonwealth Games, Ireland Games. She's been absolute, like, I don't know what's the word for cyclists.
She's just been a legend, has
That's
Lizzie.
the one.
Lizzie Holden has been an absolute legend for not only women in the sport, but for cycling on the Isle of Man. Lizzie's had a bit of a crappy few years with injuries and things, but you know what she's achieved in her career has been amazing. You know, she's someone that we should be really, really proud to have as an ambassador, I suppose, for the Isle of Man.
Yeah, and she also gave a big thank you to her family, of course, but to Manx sporting legend Dot Tilbury, who was, let's not forget it, trained a Olympic gold medalist, the greatest sprint race of all time.
The GOAT.
Exactly, Sir Goat. Lizzie, Mark Christian, all these other cyclists that have gone through, and at some point or another, they've been yelled at by Dot Tilbury to go around quicker.
Has Dot Tilbury got an MBE or anything yet?
I think she's definitely got something.
She should do.
She's got one of the
I want
awards.
her to get, what's the female version of a knighthood?
Dame Dot.
Yeah, Dame Dot.
Oh, Dame Dot.
Dame Dot. We're calling it.
That's Joe. That's the name of this podcast.
Dame
The
Dot.
campaign for Dot Tilbury to get Damehood.
Now, I've just done the maths. Per day, it's costing 1 million and basically 1.5 mil a day. That's your government wage bill. Do what you want with that information. I think there could be a bit more that actually we could add in on there, and I think you wouldn't be far off 2 mil. So, on that glorious note.
Yeah, back to quick thing on sport. So FC Man won away last week, Charlie. I know you've
Woo! Up the Ravens!
There we go. Yeah, Rick Holden scores first win as a manager away at bottom side Liverland Ramica. Game went to the 108th minute. It was
How long's a football match?
90 minutes.
Oh, it went extra time.
Oh no, it went added time.
Oh.
Extra time's a different thing to added time.
Okay.
I've got a book at home you can borrow. It's
Thank
Adam
you.
Hurrey's Football Cliches and
You've told
explains
me
the
about
language
it
of
before.
football.
Mm-hmm.
So so they won 3-1 thanks to brace from Charlie Higgins, who was actually suspended this weekend, and Jean Marquez, who scored a fantastic goal from 40-odd yards. So they're at home this weekend against FC St Helens, who they lost 2-0 away to earlier in the season. And yeah, that is on the bowl on Saturday evening. Charlie's just surprised now because she hasn't got any Yaz.
Yeah, I do.
News. Oh, she's got Yaz news.
I
Okay.
do. That's what I'm doing.
What's the Yaz news, Charlie, to wrap up the podcast with?
4 days ago, our Yaz Queen helped Britain take Buckaroo victory. She was part of the Nations Cup team that was
What?
Buckaroo victory.
Oh, I thought you said Buckaroo. I was like,
Same,
what is that?
different.
Are they sat around like? I love the idea of like all the top like equestrian teams in the world just sat around playing massive games of Buckaroo.
If we were in charge of like Team GB social media content for equestrian, that's exactly what we would do.
Buckaroo for Buckaroo and good time.
That was such a good game. Anyway,
Do you
sorry.
reckon she'd get annoyed if we put that as the picture for this
No, she'd
episode?
be all for it.
Just
yeah.
Yaz on Buckaroo.
She'd love it.
Love it.
Yaz and 9-year-old Gypsy Deloire were selected to be part of the British team at the event in the Netherlands. And the British team was made up of Yaz Ingham, Laura Collett, Caroline Harris and Tom Jackson. So basically, like for the Nations Cup things, for this kind of stuff, they end up taking some of their younger horses. But yeah, they ended up with a gold, so that's absolutely brilliant. And Yaz had a really good round on the pair of them, because she also had Goliath Deloire there as well. And hang on, Gigi finished in 19th place individually, and Goliath finished in 31st place individually, but she said she was delighted with the pair of them. It was definitely a learning day for them both, but, you know, for their first real big event like that, she is delighted. So I think really, really exciting things to come from both those horses, and Yaz can now hopefully put her feet up and recover a bit before next season, which will kick off in March.
Happy days. Well, yeah, and if you remember Buckaroo or any other childhood favourite game, let us know at Manx.news.
Newsdesk at Manx.news. We'd be delighted to hear about it.
Actually, don't write in about that. Oh, as we said that, we get an email coming. I like that. So, yeah, as we finish up there, Charlie, what you got coming for the weekend?
I'm going to be horsing around, Sam. Weather looks like it's on the change, which is pissing me off a bit, if I'm honest.
Sunday looks a bit crap.
Yeah, next, I think... Normally, I try and always get the horses out until the clocks change. I think we're going to have to bring them in this weekend, only at night and hopefully out in the day, but it just means that winter has officially arrived. For me, anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to be horsing around and hopefully dodging some crap weather. How about you? You footballing?
Yeah, I'm going up to Foxdale versus Laxey in the Battle of the Miners.
Oh, you did? You mentioned this. Yeah, I heard all about this, yeah.
Because Laxey, Onker and Corinthians on a freeway title race at the top of the Canada Life Premier League.
So exciting.
And down in Division 2, Colby could go top this weekend if they win at Pulrose, who last week beat the previously unconquerable Castletown.
Oh, my God.
And they stopped their march to the league title. So, yeah, lots of footy action going on in leagues across the world, but most importantly, here on the Isle of Man.
And that's it for this week. So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from Charlie.